Thank you. You're very, very welcome. I'd do it again for another 10 at my age.
Amen. All right, we are talking with Pastor Max Schuster. He is a veteran of the Korean War. Now, we were talking, and I just want to cover some of the stories that I found so amazing. You were assigned an M1 Garand, and you all of a sudden the shell swelled inside the barrel, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't get it out. So here you have a weapon that you can't fire. So what happened with this? I'll let you just.
Well, this is still before the Chinese come in, when it was so bad. We were getting hit every night, and here I find I have a weapon that doesn't work, and I'm worried about nightfall. What's going to happen? So I talked to my commander, Captain Fields. I said, my weapon doesn't work. I don't have any protection tonight. And he tried to open it, and he couldn't open it. So he handed me his carbine. And I always felt good with a carbine because it had 30-round magazines to it. And you tape them together, and you got two 30-round magazines. And so you do the first 30, and you've got another 30 to do. And I thought, well, this will help me with a few grenades, and this will be fine.
Now, this officer that gave you his weapon, and first of all, wow,
Yeah.
especially in a time of war and you're getting hit every night, he gives you his weapon. He had a nickname, right?
Yeah, they called him Terrible Terry.
Was there a reason for his name? Or is it just something because they both started with T?
No, he was a good man, I'll tell you that. He was a soldier.
So, okay, we are sitting here, and because I'm not sure of the whole timeline you were there, your unit, when you're first in it, and I believe this was before your hit, so this is before the Chinese got in, you're down in the southern corner, right?
Yeah.
And you're pretty much surrounded by North Koreans. They've got pretty much the game won, right? What saved the North Koreans from doing all this, or going even further, or taking you out?
What saved him from doing that?
What saved you guys?
Well, the thing that saved us was MacArthur's landing at Incheon, because now he split the North Korean army, and it took the pressure off of us down in the perimeter. We finally could break out because the North Koreans had Americans to the north of them and then Americans to the south of them. Now they were being defeated. So for the first time, we could go on the offense, and we started to head north then. Everything was fine until we got up near the Yalu River, and that made the Chinese nervous. We were too close to China. And because I was hit, I wasn't involved up there at the Yalu. But they poured over there and enveloped my unit. And I always take this as God's deliverance for me, because if I had didn't get these minor wounds, I would have been there involved in that. And they wiped out the 2nd Battalion, and the artillery didn't have time to hook up its guns and get out. And so they fired solid shot, which artillery is not built to do that. They leveled their guns and fired solid shot into the masses of Chinese, and they just kept on coming. And the reports I got when I was in the hospital was the 99th Field was fist fighting with them and fighting hand to hand and everything, rifle butts and the whole thing. But they were all wiped out. The guns were taken, but fortunately our Air Force caught them dragging the guns across the Nekton River and just plastered them, destroyed the guns and the people that were dragging them.
Now, I know I said going into this, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking politics. I'm talking about the election, but politics, when you're talking about war, does fall into it.
Yes.
When you went to war, who was the president that started this? You talk about you go into a war and you're really under-equipped. You don't have proper guns, you don't have proper weaponry to really go in and face this war. Who was the president during this time?
Well, first of all, you got to understand we had a Democratic president. That's why we weren't prepared. Democrats never prepare for war. They like to take money from the military budget and spend it on programs at home.
Mm-hmm.
And but anyway, that's why Truman, the president at that time, called it a police action. He didn't want people to think we were in a war under his turf. And he didn't want to be blamed for the unpreparedness.
And so how long before they actually started, I mean, in the scope of everything, here you are, you're fighting, you're getting attacked every day, and they're attacking at night, so we can't use our Air Force, we can't use our air support. How long before you started getting at least an upgrade in the equipment?
I'd say it was after 2 months, maybe 3. I can't. This long ago, I can't put how much time it is. But to a kid, a couple of months seems like 3 months.
Right.
So I'd say safely it'd probably be 2 months before the war got better.
Before it got better. And for people who don't understand, think of this. You say 2 months, that's not very long. They only had to go 2 months without weapons. They only had to go 2 months without proper equipment. Well, 2 months without proper equipment is devastating. Think if I'm going to simplify this. Think that you are a football player. And everybody on the other side has their pads, has their helmets, has their full thing, and they come at you full bore, and you have on nothing more than a pair of Bermuda shorts. Mm-hmm. You're going to hurt, right?
Right.
So here's our soldiers under a Democratic president. He sends them in on this police action. Well, let's face it, he sends them in to fight for 2 months under-equipped. And so when we sit there and say we need to cut back on our defense and cut back on our military, understand that you are putting our soldiers in harm's way.
Well, let's look at it. First World War, we went over and we got in late, and we got in, pretty much we were prepared somewhat.
Right.
But after the First World War and the beginning of the Second World War, we were caught with our pants down. Same thing with the aftermath of the Second World War. Korea, we jump in there, and we're not prepared. And what we've always done, it seems, is that we fought the last war every time we entered to another war. And the Gulf War was a little bit better because we were prepared. We basically were an invasion force. So you're going to have the best equipment because, this was a year in planning. But even after we got there and started doing the after the war thing, we weren't prepared for the battle that ensued after the first Gulf War.
And this is...
We weren't prepared for the IEDs. We weren't prepared for... We are always fighting the last war.
And this is why I think we have to give extra special tribute to our forces.
Yeah.
Because they are always going in with last war's equipment.
That's right.
Under-equipped. When we have politicians that are sitting there saying, we really do not need this new weapon. We don't need this new style of gun. We don't need this new aircraft. We don't need this new ship. All things that would save lives of our soldiers.
Yeah.
But because there's a price tag on it of the dollar sign,
and
they don't want to spend it.
And the workhorse of that Gulf War, the Abrams tank, they almost scrapped that tank. There were people that went, and I was in the reserves at the time and went to Washington to protest them talking about deactivating that tank.
Look what they're doing now. They're trying, in order to have fighting aircraft, they got to cannibalize other planes, old planes, because under the Obama administration, they couldn't even get parts.
Okay, we are coming up on a hard break. When we come back, we will discuss the terrain of Korea and the weather and the type of environment that Max had to fight in the Korean War.
People are always on the go, driving to work, running errands. How do they keep informed? They listen to Wham Talk 1600 just like you. If you're a business owner, your message can reach these people wherever their travels take them. People tune to Wham Radio for the latest issues, discussed by hosts like Joe Pags, Fayron X, and Dana Lesh. And they'll stay tuned for your message as well. Call 734-971-1600 today and advertise your business with Wham Radio and whamradio.com. Whamradio.com.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Bagram Air Base on lockdown after a deadly suicide attack kills Americans
Four
there.
Americans were part of a larger group of people getting ready for a post-Veterans Day run. 2 were U.S. service members, 2 U.S. contractors.
Fox News' John Huddy.
Military officials say the attacker apparently entered the base with a group of Afghan laborers. The Taliban has claimed responsibility. Bagram Air Base is where top U.S. officials, including the president, fly into when visiting Afghanistan because of its heavy security.
As angry post-election protests continue, an Oklahoma college student linked to racist messages sent to black students has been temporarily suspended. Meanwhile, a Louisiana college student who made up a report about being assaulted by 2 men, including one wearing a Trump hat, has been issued a summons for criminal mischief. Fox News, we report, you decide.
It's time now for Wham Talk 1600's Community Calendar with Brandon Drake.
Defenders of life, perhaps you are not aware of the amazing On Wheels mobile pro-life pregnancy help center that has saved dozens of unborn babies from abortion in the Detroit area. It's called Clear Image Ultrasound. The mobile unit, the size of a bus, needs a garage-type building for the winter. There's a great need to locate a heated indoor space for the unit. Citizens for a Pro-Life Society are hoping someone will step forward and help out with this need. To learn more, call 248-766-1845. The Ann Arbor Student Building Industry Program's 7th Annual Pancake Supper will take place Tuesday, November 29th from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Pioneer High School Cafeteria. Tickets are $8 each or $7 per ticket for 10 or more people. This fundraising event is designed to improve awareness of the Ann Arbor Student Building Industry Program and will provide scholarship opportunities for students who wish to attend college in a construction-related field of study. The Ann Arbor Student Building Industry Program is beginning its 47th year. This year, the students begin building in the Kirkway of Scioto subdivision. Note that sponsors, both individuals and companies, are needed this year. For more information about this event or to be a sponsor, call 734-996-0100. To review these events and others, you can always visit Wham's website at www.whamradio.com and click on Community Events.
You've been listening to the Wham Community Calendar. To have your event publicized, email community@whamradio.com or write to Brandon Drake, COWAAM, 4230 Packard Road, Ann Arbor, 48108. Wham Talk 1600. In touch with your community.
Harvest is in full swing in Lenawee County, Michigan, and Beck's customer Keith Eisenman is seeing excellent performance with Beck's Liberty Link soybeans.
We wanted to give it a try just because of the weed pressures that we're getting in our area, but overall it was quite a bit better than the Roundup we've been seeing. I don't think we've ever had a variety go 83 bushel, and our best Roundup was 76, so if that's any indication of what Liberty can do, I guess we might be very well pleased.
For more information, visit BecksHybrids.com.
Get hip to Fast Eddie's Spotlight on Vocal Harmony. Each week, Eddie's Caravan devotes an entire segment of the program to showcase doo-wop groups like the Teenagers, Moonglows, Skyliners, and Cordettes. Cats and kittens, dig out your white bucks and saddle shoes and get ready to bop.
Tune in for Eddie's Caravan with Fast Eddie, Saturday evenings from 6 to 8 on Wham. You're listening to The Drift on Wham Talk 1600. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now, back to your host, Gary Wellings.
Blue Heron Pond is a new adult foster care home center. It is located in South Lyon on 5 acres. They have opening for 6 adults right now. For more information or tours or even resident reservations, you can contact Dennis DeBuck at 248